So, peace, love, and light. And I want to say that I've been thinking about this again. And a particular part of this that I want to talk about um, is this right here. This one right here. It's like the one that I said was a cat. And it looks like it's standing on like air and then a bowl and orb or light. And then this one next to it is like the sign of Aquarius, and it's standing over a ball as well. And what I think of, or what I've been thinking of with this, and I don't know how it'll sound, but it's just something I've been thinking about. For me, I've been thinking about how cats represent like balance and flexibility, and then also how they represent like being able to travel in different realms, but beyond that, like they represent like meditation and like observation and like stillness and just like a deeper understanding of things. And with them doing that, because cats sleep quite quite often. They sleep for long periods during the day. And what I want to tie into that, I'm going to talk about a little bit later, but I want to say that they represent balance because of one side of you holds like your soul or the energy of your soul, your current or present incarnation. I'm tying this to Egypt, by the way, just in case you haven't figured it out yet. So they hold the energy of your present incarnation, and then they also they're balancing on one side with your present incarnation, and then the other part is the energy of Aquarius. The energy of Aquarius is like an air sign. It's like air being pushed up, and it kind of tips the scales. Kind of like off balance, but the goal is for you to be the cat that maintains your balance and is able to kind of almost be like unbiased, because the cat will be like, and I said that wrong. The orb will represent your past incarnation, not your present incarnation. The cat will be like the unbiased entity that can see both into both realms, into both dimensions, and is able to look at both of these things objectively and still maintain its balance while navigating through the world. Now, the reason why I said that they represent balance, my thought just kind of left me, but they represent balance and oh, the reason why I was saying that they represent like strong observation and like meditation and like they sleep long periods during the day is because that's what we do when we are going through this particular world, when we are looking at our past lives or our life that we may think is present but is really past. The reason why I say that this is important is because this goes on like in this area, because your kidneys are here, and this represents the balance of this balance of your body, and then the cat will be in the middle here, looking at both of these things. Well, standing on both sides of these things, kind of maintaining balance in the middle, because the energy that that you would represent will be energy that's going up, and you would represent like the back part. If you ever seen the scale, I think it's a scale on here. It's not a scale on here, but like if you ever seen the scales of like the Libra, it it has like the two scales, and then it has the thing holding it up. You will represent the thing that's holding it up. It'll be like your spine. And that's what I've always thought about when I thought about like the Libra scales. It's like the top of the thing that holds the scales up will be like your shoulders, and then like your spine will be like the back of the scales that holds the scales in place, and and then it goes down and then it holds like the whole thing like then that would be like your pelvis, and a lot of this goes on in your pelvis, like the energy that represents your past incarnation, and then the energy of Aquarius is channeled up through your pelvis, and they're connected to your legs. So the energy that's connected to your past incarnation and the energy of Aquarius is projected up to your third eye. Your third eye your third eye is represented by the same symbol that's inside of a television, which is a triangle, and an eye, which is a sigil. This sigil can cause you to go into a meditative state where you're not thinking and you're just kind of just like watching and observing and kind of just like taking in all that you see, regardless of what it is, and you're kind of like unbiased. You may like, occasionally laugh or whatever. It may stir up your emotions, but this also causes you to be unbalanced because you're not looking at it objectively. You're not looking at it as this is a TV show. This is something that I'm watching on a TV. This is something that I am separate from, and I'm looking at it for a different purpose other than the story, because the story may be important, but there is something beyond the story that the people who created the story or the show wanted to or intended to get across to you. So you have to be aware of that, and that awareness is what you need to focus on. But I said all that to say we do that when we're focused on what's going on in our day-to-day lives, like where we're super focused on what's going on. Like we're really in the scene of what's going on in our life. Like we're really emotionally tied to it, and we're not aware of our emotions. We're not in control of our emotions, so we tend to be unbalanced. Like we tend to experience, sadness or anger, and it's not controlled. It's kind of like out of balance, and it's kind of unpredictable because again, your emotions are here. Your emotions are in like your like in between like your ego and your like your sacral chakra area, and also your roots. So a lot of the stuff that's going on, you kind of react to, and you're drawn into emotionally because you're focused on it from this level, and you're not looking beyond that because you're supposed to be able to see beyond that and have like an unbiased objective view of it. And having this unbiased objective view of it, you're able to discern and get the message that's really being conveyed through the story, and you're not tied into the you're not tied into the people, but more so the concepts. And that's what you want to be doing. You want to take yourself out of the things that the people are saying, and then look at it from, and you don't want to get emotionally attached to the idea that this person is doing this is a bad person, and you're emotionally attached to that energy, and you're so focused on that energy that you don't see the bigger picture. What you want to do is you want to see the bigger picture. You want to look at it as, okay, this is a show. This show is trying to tell me something, and this show is not something that I'm using just to escape from reality. This is something that I'm using to, or this is something that I'm watching to understand something about reality. And in understanding something about reality, you get a greater understanding of what the show is trying to convey and what the purpose of the show actually is. And you have to understand that watching this show is bigger than just being tied into the people, because being tied into the people is meaningless after the show is over. And then after the show is over, what did you really learn? Um, and you don't have to you don't have to look at it like as something boring, because watching TV, like, I don't watch TV. Don't get me wrong. I may watch stuff on Netflix and stuff like that, but even when I'm watching that, I'm watching it from a different point of view. I'm looking at the concepts more than I'm looking at the people, because the concepts are way more interesting. And how they connect to me and how they connect to my life is way more interesting than just like it being a show that I'm planning on watching, whenever the next episode is on, because a lot of the things that I watch have synchronicities in my life, and they 11:11, they kind of tie into my life in a weird way. But and I'm not saying like this because they don't manifest things in my life. It's like things happen in my life, and then sometimes I get synchronicities that link that that sync up with the things that I'm watching. Excuse me. And that happens quite often. And it's been happening quite often for a while. Um, but even beyond that, and it's not even just the shows that I watch. Like I can watch myself and get like synchronicities, but I forgot what I was going with that. But you have to just watch it beyond being tied to the people and being emotionally tied to the stories, because the stories aren't really that important. It's the concepts beyond the stories that's important. 12:12, and you just really have to wake up to the idea that there's something deeper than what's on the screen, and the people on the screen that's playing the characters in the show or the movie or whatever. And yeah, you just have to make sure you're not super focused on watching the TV. And I kind of that this is where I wanted to go with this. Stay with me. But I say that all that to say this. Like I said, 11:11, the same thing that's inside of the TV is inside of the human body. And this as far as the symbol, like the triangle pyramid with the eye in it is inside of your head. And with it being inside of your head, you can get caught into watching your life on a level that you're not conscious, you're not awake and aware of what's going on in your life. And you are basically watching the TV inside of your head. And what you watching the TV inside of your head, you're not present in the moment of your life. You're not present in your life. You are basically an actor carrying out certain actions and doing certain things, but you're not really in control of those things. You're just basically doing what you rehearsed before, or doing what you've done before. And you can do this mentally. You can train yourself, or you can do different actions that you've done before, but they won't have the same meaning as when you're in the moment. Like when you're really in the moment and you're really doing something, you know the difference from when you've been basically kind of like almost like a zombie, just like doing certain things and not really being cognizant of what it is that you're doing. You'll know the difference because you'll feel it. Like life is supposed to feel like something. It's not supposed to be something that you live and not really feel it. And when I say that, I'm gonna take this to a different level. Life is more so about the senses than it is about the feelings. So I need to change my language there, because something that I've realized about becoming more conscious is a lot of it is just common sense. And the common sense that I realize is about smelling, it's about hearing, it's about seeing, and it can even be about tasting, and it's also about touch. But I want to say it's kind of less about touch, because that's something that we do on a regular basis. Like, we're very in tune with like touching things, but we're not really in tune with like hearing, like the art of listening, because there's an art to listening. Like, it's not just like accepting things that come into your ear and not really knowing like how to process it, not really knowing what it's telling you, and how to differentiate what's being said and what's not being said. Why is this like this? Kind of getting down. But why is things being said, and why things are happening, as far as like sounds, because like even with you listen to certain things, like you get certain suggestions that you just listen to, and you're not conscious, or you're not aware of them, because you haven't trained your ears to listen actively, and to be aware of what's coming inside of your ears, and you haven't cleansed your ears. Like, you have to really do like really some work when it comes to your ears. But the same thing with your breathing. Like, with me personally, I know that I haven't been smelling certain things, and I was aware of it when it first started happening, when I stopped being able to smell things on a regular, and where I felt like kind of like blocked from being able to smell and being able to breathe as deep as I wanted to, until I started doing like breath work, until I started doing like healing work and things like that, where I've been removing blockages from my nose, from my throat, from my ears, and things like that. But it's something that I wasn't aware of. Like, after it initially happened, I wasn't aware of it anymore, because I got used to it, and I don't want to ever get used to it again. I want to fully embrace the idea of being able to smell and being able to breathe deeply, and being able to just enjoy like that whole area, like my nose, throat, and ears, because they are all connected. But then also, like with seeing, like we don't see things the way that they are. We see things the way that we've been taught to deal with the world, and it's like kids see the world differently from adults, and you have to kind of train yourself to be able to see the world differently than you've been taught, because you've been taught to accept that the world is this, and this, and you've been forced to focus in that way. We're still like in your first three chakras, but you want to be able to focus in your higher chakras, where you're focusing with your heart, you're focusing with your throat, you're focusing with your eye, and you're focusing with your crown, which is also like the same area that your brain is, where your right brain is. And you want to be able to really connect to those things, because these things are things that we don't put enough emphasis on, and we're not able to really tap into certain realms and certain dimensions, because we're not there anymore. We're in our first three chakras again, and being stuck in your first three chakras, you're not really like a whole being. You're just like, I don't want to say half a being, but it's kind of like you're kind of like walking around. You ever hear the saying like walking around or how's the saying go? The lights are on but no one's home. That's basically what it is. Like, the lights are on inside of you. Like, you look and you appear as if you're here, but you're not really here, because you're not really in the moment. You're not really focused on living. You're not really embracing all that life has to offer. You're just living in the world in the way that you've been conditioned to live, and the many conditions that you've been subjected to as your life has gone on. Like everything that you've experienced is why you see the world the way that you do, or why you hear the world the way that you do, and it's not clear. But you don't recognize it's not clear because it's something that you're used to. You become used to seeing the world in this way, opposed to really seeing the world in the way that it really is, and you don't really see the bigger picture, and that's not a good thing. Like you have to really do your healing work to really get to the level that I'm talking about. And I'm only sharing this because this is something that I've actually experienced, and I really want to share that experience with other people, because I know that as it's important to me, it's important to other people, and how it's changed my life, it can help change other people's lives, and that's just really what I want to share. Um, I want to say that the energy of like your soul, like your past life, it does stay constant, but it grows. Like you have to think of it like a fire. Like a fire, it changes like moment to moment, moment to moment. Like a fire is never really the same. Like it dances, it moves, but the energy of Aquarius is an energy that it remains constant. It's pretty much the same thing, is what I've experienced like throughout different lifetimes. It's pretty much the same energy, but you view it differently because your soul is something that grows. It's something that evolves over time, like throughout your different lifetimes. But the energy of Aquarius stays constant because, if I'm not mistaken, which I'm actually pretty sure, that it's a fixed sign. Even though it's an air sign, it's a fixed sign, so it stays pretty constant throughout. I guess the entire experience of two of your incarnation, but with it being fixed, it can only do so much. And that's not saying that Aquarius is a bad sign. It's something that you need to learn from. It's like a level of consciousness that you need to. So it's a level of consciousness that you need to kind of understand and kind of get used to. But in getting used to it, you have to also know that you can evolve beyond it. And that's what the goal is. It's not necessarily to stay in the age of Aquarius, it's to evolve beyond the age of Aquarius. And even the age of Pisces, because the age of Pisces is a very important time. But when you get to the age of Aquarius, you're not meant to just stay in Aquarius, you're meant to evolve beyond Aquarius, even though you get a greater understanding of life through Aquarius, but you're meant to evolve beyond Aquarius because you become the one that is aware of things. But you have to understand that your um, awareness has to go beyond the level or the age of Aquarius. And yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say. Um, I think I said pretty much everything that I need to say. But with that being said, I love you, and I hope that you have a great day.